ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTv News, expanding your view.
Hello everyone, this is CoreTv Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, APC top shot Muhammad Buhari and popular anti-Boko Haram Islamic cleric Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi escaped death by whiskers as two bomb blasts killed several people in Kaduna. Also in this program, missing crew member of crashed Nigeria Air Force helicopter reappears in Maiduguri, Borno State capital. APC in Osun State raises alarm over alleged plan by the PDP to rig the August 9 governorship election in the state. And outside Nigeria, Selika Group in war-torn Central African Republic boycotts peace talks. And we begin tonight in Kaduna, where two bombs went off in the metropolis within 1 hour of each other. The first was a car bomb which killed at least 25 people in the city center. Eyewitnesses say the bomb went off shortly after the convoy of a prominent Islamic cleric Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi had driven past a red golf car. The cleric, who escaped unhurt, was said to be on his way to the popular Murtala Square on Alkali Road, where he was to lead a prayer session. Police Commissioner Umar Shehu confirmed that at least 25 persons were killed and scores of people injured. This is the second time in about a month that the Islamic cleric would be targeted. He is known for his criticisms of Boko Haram, but it's not known whether the group was behind the car bomb. The second bomb went off about an hour later near an army formation in the Kawo area of Kaduna.
How old is the boy? Well, we cannot say. No, we cannot. How do you know this? I don't know. Like how many people died? 25. One dead. 25. Injured. And 14 injured at this hospital. Okay, sir. Will you say that the attack was targeted at the sheikh? Definitely. Where it happened? Where it happened? Because they are waiting for him. He knows pass outside the closing or the tafsir. It's when he came, when she was passing, that's the boy.
Sir, was the sheikh affected?
No. No arrest. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay.
While the Kaduna State government has imposed a 24-hour curfew on the metropolis in the aftermath of two bomb attacks, Governor Ramalan Yero said in a statement that this is to enable security agencies restore normalcy after what he described as the height of cowardice by those bent on creating tension in the state. He added that the fact that the blast occurred during Ramadan showed that those behind them have no fear of God and the sanctity of human life. Governor Yero said despite the success recorded in improving security in Kaduna State, more still needs to be done to ensure safety of the people. And in a related issue, former head of state and a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammad Buhari, narrowly escaped the second blast as a suicide bomber targeted his convoy, hauling the explosive device in it. CoreTv News learned that one of the cars in the convoy was badly damaged, while the Prado Jeep conveying the former head of state was touched. His bodyguards and escorts had to move Buhari from his car into another to take him away. Another version says the suicide bomber, who rode in a Sienna car, rammed into the convoy of the former head of state. More than 50 cars were damaged in the second blast. According to the eyewitness, most of the people that died in the first blast were adherents of the Darika Islamic sect led by Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi. Eyewitnesses say the lone bomber, whose target was the Sheikh, rode on a motorbike and followed the convoy of the Islamic cleric after the lecture. He was reportedly overpowered by security operatives who blocked him after he was suspected. He forced his way and detonated the explosive, throwing the entire area into serious confusion. However, the explosion only affected the tail end of Sheikh Bauchi's convoy, but others were not so lucky and died in the process. Many of the corpses were conveyed to the Nigerian Army Reference Hospital in the metropolis and other hospitals in the state. The Director of Defense Information, Chris Olukolade, has updated its earlier report that the crew member who was earlier declared dead has resurfaced. The engineer crew member of the crashed Nigerian Air Force Mi-35 helicopter, earlier declared missing, has been found alive. The crew member who was declared missing when his body could not be located in the vicinity of the crash resurfaced at the military headquarters in Maiduguri on Wednesday, having trekked through the bushes after the crash. The family of the officer has been duly informed, while the two survivors are in stable condition but receiving medical attention. Meanwhile, search and rescue operation on the incident has been concluded while investigation into the crash continues. The police authorities have signed a training agreement with the U.S. Department of State's Bureau for International Narcotics and Law Enforcement. The agreement was signed by Inspector General of Police Muhammad Abubakar and the American Ambassador James Entwistle. Under the pact, the Nigerian police will benefit from the International Police Education and Training Program run and funded by the U.S. authorities. The Memorandum of Understanding is also expected to cover counter-terrorism operations.
Is the beginning of that partnership and partnership that works between the two countries. It's an record that even our training institution, the Police Staff College in Jos, the first building of the Police Staff College in Jos was built with assistance of the United States.
I think it's quite obvious. As a partner of Nigeria, a stronger Nigerian police force leads to better security around Nigeria, better security throughout West Africa, and the stability and the security of Africa is obviously in the interest of the U.S. and the rest of the world.
In a related development, the police has put together a document on counter-terrorism strategy with the support of UK Department for International Development. The handbook was formally presented to the Inspector General of Police at a brief ceremony in Abuja.
The Nigerian police force doesn't need the intelligence of external bodies. It doesn't need us to tell the Nigerian police force what needs to go into a strategy in any of these areas. All we did was facilitate this, bring it together, and bring some examples of best practice from outside to bounce off the Nigerian police officers who work with us. So I firstly want to make that absolutely clear. This is an MPF document, and we're very proud that we've been able to support the MPF in producing the document. The second point I'd like to make is that going forward, strategies and plans are only as good as the extent to which they get implemented. And we, as a programme, are committed to supporting the MPF, and more importantly, perhaps, monitoring and evaluating those strategies to see whether they're the right ones, to see whether the policies and actions that flow from these actually do address the problems and assist in the process of recalibrating the strategies as we move forward.
This document was not written by them alone, because if you go through the document, you will see the contribution of officers and men of the training department, that of the DIG training, members of management, and that of the Inspector General of Police. So therefore, it's a combination of partnership, bringing in the best practices, experience, expertise, technical know-how, and bundle of knowledge.
The UK department collaborated with the police in putting together the document to support the counter-terrorism measures of the police and, of course, handed over strategic guidelines on counter-terrorism to the Nigerian police. The guidelines also covered 8 other core areas of policing. A legal practitioner, Tunji Braithwaite, says there should be no elections in 2015 if the missing schoolgirls abducted from Chibok are not found. He urged Nigerians to desist from attacking the presidency and support the course on how the abducted girls will be released alive. Braithwaite made the statement at the rally organized by Women Arise to mark the 100 days in captivity of the Chibok girls. Omotayo Alo has details.
Since the news of the abduction, series of debates, protests and rallies have been held to pressurize and gather support on finding the girls. 100 days after, hope has risen that the girls would come out as heroes in the end. Only a few people marked the 100 days, including children.
We want to put an end to 100 days of terror. We want to put an end to 100 days of humiliation. We want to put an end to 100 days of cries, of crime. We want to put an end to 100 days of wailings. We want to put an end to 100 days of hopelessness.
I want us as a government to step up our game and be responsible for our children, because the children are the future.
This term is for a government you have voted for to say, well done or get out.
Thank you.
And all of you today, look at it, we are revolting 100 years Nigeria, 100 days for the missing girls. Look at the crowd. People are busy working, doing nothing, not fighting for our future, not talking. If they kidnap those girls, I am saying, I believe in that word, rescue them.
11-year-old Nwabweze, who composed and released the song dedicated to the abducted girls, is still hopeful on their safe release.
To move action, fight, and bring back the girls alive.
Joe Okeodumake and Tunji Braithwaite charged the government to put in more effort on security intelligence and make the safe rescue of the girls a reality.
Governments, security agencies must agonize less and organize for change. And that change is change of tactics, gather enough political will, and also ensure that our girls are rescued.
It's about time that we realized that things will not happen in this country unless we really undertake the revolution that is now very, very urgent.
All the artists who composed songs dedicated to the state of the nation say their music will continue to fill the atmosphere until something positive happens, while urging other Nigerians to be prayerful. 100 painful days after the abduction of the Chibok girls, Nigerians have oftentimes expressed their displeasure to what the nation is currently experiencing. But they say they would not rest in their house until these girls are rescued alive. Omotayo Alo, CoreTv News, Lagos.
Well, we're still keeping hope alive. More than 2 million people from areas affected by Boko Haram insurgency are now taking refuge in Bauchi State. Governor Isa Yeguda disclosed this on the sidelines of Tuesday's meeting in Abuja with members of the Chibok community. He added that the state's resources are now overstretched by the refugee situation.
Well, as for the refugees, it's a major challenge. Bauchi is surrounded by states that has security challenges, and many refugees are flocking into Bauchi. Presently, we have over 2 million refugees in Bauchi, but the good news is that we've been able to settle them down. No refugees in any camp. They've all been resettled in some, gotten land for them to resettle, some shelter for them, try as much as possible to provide water, and some basic facilities so that they can start life all over again. So it has not been easy. Our resources are overstretched because
the little we have has to, be shared with the refugees.
So is there any assistance from any quarters on that?
Well, we are looking forward to support. Only of recent, anyway, we had some, some items from NEMA, who provided us with some blankets, some food items, and we need more. We need a lot more. But by the grace of God, I believe the refugee issue, because I'm sure these guys are not going back to where they came from. They have settled and settled permanently. So I think the federal government is going to take up that and see how they can be properly resettled.
Away from that story, the impeachment trend is now moving all the way from Adamawa to Nasarawa State. Find out more on that story coming up shortly after this break.
CoreTv News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTv News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTv Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTv News, our 24-hour news station.
Nigerians continue to travel the city of Lagos.
There is still a poor level of
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west and around Africa. We break the news.
We are one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTv News.
Welcome to CoreTv,
24-hour news station.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
only on CoreTv News.
Welcome back. Members of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly have directed the Chief Judge of the state to set up a 7-man panel to investigate Governor Tanko Armakura. The lawmakers, who had been in Abuja for several days, moved down to Lafia and Westgate and almost immediately passed the resolution. The motion was moved by Majority Leader Godiya Kwashiki and seconded by Babai Bakwu. Speaker Musa Mohammed, who presided over the session, subsequently ordered the Chief Judge to constitute a 7-man panel. Meanwhile, Governor Armakura, who has also returned to Lafia, has been holding meetings with traditional rulers with a view to staving off the impeachment drive. The People's Democratic Party in Osun State says it's not concerned about impeaching Aregbesola, even though they have alleged some misconduct against the governor. Speaking to our correspondent Frank Omolape, the party says its impeachment tool is to mobilize the people of Osun to vote Aregbesola out of office in the coming election.
Reacting to the All Progressives Congress statement that the People's Democratic Party is behind a series of impeachment threats in the country, the PDP National Editor Adewale Adeyanju says the allegation of the opposition party is false.
Anybody can insinuate anything. What concerns the president with Adamawa State? What concerns the president, the people who are accusing him are the people voted in by the people. And the allegations are clear. The man ran away because he had no defense and he was impeached. They followed the constitutional process. What else do we need? They are asking Nasarawa to come and defend. If you have anything to say, you say it. Accusation, you are not guilty as accused. You must show yourself, show that you didn't do this. All the allegations, the 24 allegations, he ran away.
A PDP stalwart in Osun, Salami Bamidele, says impeachment is not out of place in a democratic setting. He, however, said the PDP in the southwest is not interested in pushing for impeachment.
I mean, nobody can compel the legislature to do anything. And that's why it's funny that people are insinuating that some people were behind the legislature in Adamawa State. You can see in some states the legislature is not doing anything about impeachable offenses, if you want to put it that way. That is their choice. It is the choice of the legislature to either apply those processes or not. The best that can happen is for the electorate, the members of the public, to put pressure on the legislature to invoke those sections to correct an erring governor, and I will have wished that happens more often.
The publicity secretary of the PDP, Bola Ajao, says it will be a waste of time to push for impeachment when there is an easy way out, which is voting Aregbesola out of office.
The dates have been set aside, August 9, for PDP and Aregbesola's APC and his people to go and test their popularity. The evidence is there, the ground is level, everything is pointing to one direction, and that is the PDP and the generality of all the group of Osun are on the same page that PDP should come back to the side. We are not advancing our mind into the area of direction impeachment for Aregbesola. We want to defeat him at the August 9 gubernatorial election fair and square.
PDP leaders in Osun have been singing the song of victory as the state anxiously awaits the governorship election.
We are going to win this election fair and square because Osun people have so far resolved to demolish Aregbesola with their votes the way he demolished their properties and means of livelihood.
As the August 9 governorship election approaches, political parties are engaged in strategizing towards winning the election. Frank Omalape, CoreTv News, Osogbo.
And still in Osun, the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress has written an open letter to President Goodluck Jonathan, accusing him and the Osun chapter of the PDP and INEC and plans to rig the August 9th governorship election. Rashid has details.
In the build-up to the August 9th governorship election in Osun State, the All Progressives Congress leadership has written an open letter to President Goodluck Jonathan, accusing him of using federal government apparatus to cause havoc in the state ahead the election.
PDP will invade Osun State with soldiers and other security forces about a week before the election in Osun to intimidate citizens.
All Progressives Congress further accused the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of connivance with the People's Democratic Party to rig the forthcoming election.
A military force, a military camouflage, will flood the state and terrorize citizens. They will be harmed for war like terrorists to strike fear into people and scare most of them from the polling booths.
In a swift reaction, the PDP faulted APC's allegations and described it as spurious and unfounded.
That's a funny allegation. The Osun State PDP does not have power to deploy soldiers. The only person that has the authority to deploy soldiers is the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. That is going to deploy enough security personnel that no miscreants or hooligans or thugs will be able to disrupt the election that is going to be conducted, which is going to be peaceful.
Political parties in the state have been engaged in a war of words on planned rigging of the election.
And no intimidation from any quarter. We are battle ready. I know we don't have gun, but you should tell them these are people who are empty. APC is an opposition, and they are going to lose this state, inshallah, in Jesus' name. And they have seen that, and that is why they are preparing ground for them to say something after they must have lost the election. They are bad losers, and there is the need for us to talk to their leadership that they should be a good leader.
Observers have advised political parties to put the peaceful conduct of the election at heart and to ensure their supporters conduct themselves peacefully. Rashid, CoreTv News, Oshogbo.
While as the August 9th governorship election in Osun State draws closer, political parties are engaged in various strategies to canvass for votes. One of such efforts is the house-to-house campaign embarked upon by Tesiwaju's son, an offshoot of the All Progressives Congress, in conjunction with the members of the Osun Youth Empowerment Scheme, Oshogbo chapter. Rashid was there and filed in this report.
The door-to-door sensitization program by members of the Itesiwaju Group and Oshogbo chapter of the Osun Youth Empowerment Scheme is one of the strategies adopted by the All Progressives Congress ahead the governorship election.
People have to know their rights to vote and to get them to get out on the polling date so that nobody is intimidated. That's why we are going from house to house to tell them their civic right to vote and to make them their votes counted, and to make sure that whoever is voted for is declared as the winner.
The campaigners say laudable initiative of Rauf Aregbesola in employing youths and empowering them through the OYS scheme is the reason that made the members come out openly to canvass for the second-term bid of Ogbeni Aregbesola.
We need to sensitize our people that they don't need to finish the life of the youth in this country. Aregbesola is the only governor that came out and said youth are important in the politics of Nigeria, and we are very proud of him. And we want people to come out and elect him again for second term. If they can see the good work he has been doing, if these useless people that are coming up now have done half of this work, nobody will have voted them out.
The sensitization covered most parts of Oshogbo. Abdulrazak Isiaq says it's a political reawakening for the people of the ancient town.
I see a free and fair election that is on 8/9/2014. So now I hope that the Aregbe will.
The strategies and campaign models adopted by the political parties will be tested on August 9 when the people go out to cast the ballot. Rashid, CoreTv News, Oshogbo.
The Federal Road Safety Corps now has a new herdsman following the appointment of Osita Chidoka as Aviation Minister. His Deputy Corps Marshal Boboyo Oyeyemi, a foundation staff of the agency. President Goodluck Jonathan explained that Oyeyemi was elevated to the position in order to build confidence in the institution.
The history of road safety from the inception, I think 1988 or so, about 26 years ago, the succession has not been very stable. The pioneer Corps Marshal, naturally, will come from outside the system because there was no road safety then. But from then up to the last one, Osita, who is living today, was brought from Mobile to sit over the affairs of the road safety. But that shows that that institution has never been stable. And for a nation, for us to progress, we must build institutions. We'll try to build stable institutions. And we didn't want also a vacancy in that place because it's a paramilitary service. We can delay in some other civilian institutions. So for today, we are appointing Deputy Corps Marshal Oyeyemi Olokomi to take over from now.
Honorable Minister for Aviation, Osita Chidoka Wefa, for his support in the appointment as the Corps Marshal. And we give thanks to God, to the management staff, and all the Nigerians for believing, having faith in us, as Mr. President has said, that the Corps has come of age. And we thank God for all this. And to the nation, the charge has been given, it will not fail. The foundation has been laid, we build on it, we continue. We continue on the transformation through the Federal Road Safety Corps to build a good nation. I will not fail Nigerians.
Technical and vocational skills are said to be gateways for enterprise and national development. Oluwase Adegoke was at the second Lagos State Enterprise Day. Her report is presented from our studios.
The
The Lagos State Enterprise Day is an annual event which promotes networking of successful entrepreneurs with young aspiring entrepreneurs. The forum offers support for the promotion of enterprise education in Lagos State. The Deputy Governor of the state, Orelokwe Adefulire, says knowledge is power, and Lagos State government encourages indigenes to seek economic emancipation by acquiring knowledge.
Now, we have the opportunity to embrace innovative ideas, and visioning the possibility and ultimately transforming the Lagos economy. While this initiative was support, we will be providing the needed platform and mechanism to transform the graduates of the technical colleges into change makers who can make their community a better place, not only for themselves, but also for the fellow Nigerians.
The Lagos State Commissioner for Education, Olayinka Oladunjoye, highlights the importance of technical and vocational education.
Specifically aimed at advocacy sensitization of all stakeholders to instill a positive attitude in Lagos youths towards the world of work, entrepreneurship and business. Indeed, it was also meant to foster in Lagos youths elements of creativity, entrepreneurial spirit, self-confidence, so that they can develop entrepreneurial culture and financial skills.
The founder of McBride Research Laboratory, Colonel McBride, says vocational skill is not for dropouts, and that when one is determined, nothing will be impossible.
The whole idea of life itself is that it's a long journey. It's not a destination, it's a journey, and you will forever be on that journey. And the degree of success will depend on what you do, regardless of all of the things that may be happening around you, regardless of all of the negative that you may face. Your success will depend solely on you.
The founder of Rough and Tumble, Nike Ogunlisi, encouraged the youths to acquire vocational training due to the economic situation in the country.
No matter what is going on around you, you must retain your focus. You have to retain that focus. Because if you are unable to focus on the reasons why, as he said, you are doing these things, you will lose your focus and you will give up. You must be relentless in pursuing whatever it is that you want to do. You can't give up.
Speaker at the Enterprise Day focused on encouraging youths and other Nigerians to seek vocational training so as to be economically independent and help grow the country's economy.
You're watching CoreTv Primetime News live from Lagos. Abena Izoko is standing by with some business stories for you. That's coming up shortly after this break.
CoreTv News, expanding your view.
You can now watch CoreTv News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTv Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTv, leave a space, then News. CoreTv News, our 24-hour news station.
CoreTv News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
CoreTv News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation, is sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733, 014-533-407.
Our 24-hour news station.
Hello there, you're welcome to the world of business. British companies are looking to tap into the growth of Nigeria as the country which has an abundance of natural resources. According to the UN Conference on the Trade and Development, 7 of the world's fastest growing economies are on the African continent, thus making it an area of interest for foreign investors. There is a huge capacity for growth in Africa and demand for the services from the UK companies who want to invest in Africa or are already there and want to expand. Foreign direct investment in Nigeria reached $5.6 billion in 2013. The International Monetary Fund says Nigeria is projected to be the leading economy in sub-Saharan Africa within the next decade and expected to achieve 7% or more growth rate this year. Nigerian British Chambers of Commerce says it expects bilateral trade between both nations to exceed its target this year. The new report published by Bern Declaration, a Switzerland-based non-profit transparency organization, has shed light on how Swiss traders cashed in on the weaknesses in Nigeria's crude oil lifting contract system from 2011 to 2013. Nigeria, Africa's top oil producer, sells its oil through annual term contracts awarded by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) to a list of companies that are then eligible to buy crude oil throughout the year, resulting in misalignment between the volumes officially allocated to each company and the volumes these companies actually live thereby, bringing loss to potential revenues to the country. Swiss companies brought oil worth $37 billion over the 3 years, an amount equal to more than 18% of the national government's revenue. Industry sources say these firms will likely still trade Nigerian oil, either through buying from Nigerian firms or through partnerships. The Directorate of Petroleum Resources, DPR, has estimated that divestment by the International Oil Corporation by the end of 2015 will hit a whopping of 8.8 billion barrels of crude reserves, which will amount to 25% of the nation's estimated reserves of 36 billion barrels. These were disclosed at the 4th edition of the Abuja Petroleum Roundtable by the director, George Osahon, who was represented by Sunday Babalola. Other stakeholders, however, expressed concerns that the funds raised by the IOCs were heading out to other oil belts to set up a new investment which came from funds mopped up from the local banks to buy up the assets. Babalola says the delayed Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, when eventually passed into law, will bring a better Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, create strong corporate social responsibility with less problems with the communities, lead to aggressive oil corporate operations, increase local capacity, and bring about benefits of increased reserve what the nations had craved for. The Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria and the federal government are on the warpath. Moves by the government to discontinue payments of interest and the foreign exchange differentials on subsidy claims to the marketers. Speaking on the development, the Executive Secretary Momen Obafemi Olawore commended the federal government for bringing transparency and sanity into the payment of subsidy claims through the Ministry of Finance. The interest and foreign exchange differentials accumulate on unpaid principal loans obtained by the marketers from banks to import refined petroleum products. According to him, although the federal government has paid 44.1 billion naira to the marketers, the grand total of subsidy arrears owed was 119.56 billion naira. Out of this amount, he explained that the major oil marketers were owed 94.157 billion naira. Olawore maintained that the 45-day payment cycle was arrived by the PPRA, Finance Ministry, Central Bank of Nigeria, Department of Petroleum Resources, MOMEN, Independent Marketers Association of Nigeria, DEPO, and Petroleum Products Marketers Association, and the banks. The federal government has restated its commitment to facilitating the growth and development of domestic trade across the country. The Minister of Trade, Industry, Trade and Investment, Olusegun Agange, gave the assurance during a town hall meeting with traders in the southwest geopolitical area in Lagos. The meeting was attended by traders and representatives of market association from Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo and Ekiti states, as well as representatives of the Nigerian Customs Service, Nigerian Immigration Service and the police. Agange explained that the meeting is necessitated by the federal government's recognition of the importance of domestic trade in achieving inclusive and sustainable economic growth and the development in line with the President Goodluck Jonathan's transformation agenda to bring policy formulation and implementation down to the grassroots and ensure that the traders are carried along. According to the statistics, domestic trade has a strategic role to play in achieving inclusive and sustainable growth and development in the country. And on the stock market report, equity transaction on the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a bearish note. The Nigerian Stock Exchange All Shares Index depreciated by 120.62 points to close lower at 42,544.33 basis points. Market capitalization decreased by 0.28% to close lower at 14.048 trillion naira. In all, a total of 273 million shares valued at 3.077 billion naira were exchanged in 4,766 deals. Report shows that CAP PLC topped the gainers chart, followed by CCNN PLC, Guinness PLC, UACN PLC, and Stanbic IBTC PLC. On the other hand, Total PLC led the losers chart, followed by Mobil PLC, Sky Shelt PLC, Nestle PLC, and Webco PLC. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And that's it on business news. Coming up next is the world of sports with Brownson Wana. Please stay with us.
Nigerians continue to the city of Lagos once agog as all routes to you on.
Be the first to know
on CoreTv News
from the north, south, east, west and around Africa. We break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTv News.
Welcome to CoreTv,
a 24-hour news station.
Very big thanks for joining us in the beautiful world of sports tonight. I am Brownson Wana. Former Super Eagles coach Adeboye Onibide has charged the Nigerian Football Federation to be independent in order to avoid FIFA ban. The World Football Governing Body recently lifted a suspension clamped on the country for alleged interference in the running of the affairs of the game by the government. FIFA stepped in the lawsuit that sacked Aminu Meigari left NFF board, but the former gaffer said NFF must live up to its billings. He further advised that the Nigerian Football Federation should seek for private participation in running of the football in the country. And away from that, Nigerian under-20 women gaffer Peter Dedevo has announced his 21-player squad for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup finals. The Falconets will be making their 7th appearance in this competition and have been drawn in Group C with Mexico, Korea Republic, and England. Making the list is Courtney Dike, who is the younger sister to Super Eagles forward Bright Dike, who is the only foreign-based player in the squad. The team will depart for Canada through Frankfurt in 2 batches on Thursday and Friday from Abuja. There are 3 goalkeepers, 7 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 6 strikers in the squad. About 4,500 athletes from 71 nations will take part in the 20th edition of the Commonwealth Game, which runs from 3rd of August. Swimmer Michael Jameson, a big Scots medal hope, says the buzz around the city is absolutely fantastic. Commonwealth Games chairman Michael Bangladesh says there is an enormous buzz in Glasgow and that will continue. Glasgow began preparation for the Games, which feature 18 sports across 11 days of competition in 2007 when they beat Nigeria into the hosting rights. And away from that to some football story, Kenya coach Daniel Aboche has been suspended for 1 year in a move that could end his reign as the coach of the national side. The Nigerian was suspended by the Confederation of African Football after being found guilty of spitting on a match official. He had earlier been slapped with a 2-match suspension pending suspension by the match official. Kenya FA had earlier appealed against a 2-match suspension slapped on Lamoche by arguing that the coach did not spat on the match official and accused the official of lying in its report. Finally, on sport news tonight, to La Liga, Barcelona have signed Valencia's defender Jeremy Matthew on a 4-year deal for a fee of £15.8 million. Matthew has won 2 caps for France and can play at left back or centre back. He will replace former Barcelona captain Carlos Puyol, who was retired from playing after 15 years in the club. Barcelona, who finished second in La Liga last season, have had a very busy summer in the transfer market. And that's a wrap on Sport News tonight. My name is Bronson Wananifemi Oguntaye. We're back with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. And now to stories outside Nigeria. Peace talks between Central Africa's sectarian rivals were suspended after the ex-rebel Seleka group failed to show up less than a day before the deadline of a deal. The 2 main negotiating sessions of the talks being held in Brazzaville, one on securing an end to hostilities, the other on disarming fighters in Central African Republic, were subsequently suspended. A third workshop of the political transition went ahead at the request of a regional group in ECAS. According to a member of the Congolese Organizing Committee, the Congolese said delegates from the mainly Muslim Seleka had been provided with a copy of the draft accord for the talks. About 170 Central African officials are taking part, including members of transitional President Catherine Samba Panza's government, lawmakers, envoys from armed groups, political parties, and civil society. It was unclear what the draft accord for the Brazzaville talks contained, but delegates referred to a radio report in which the head of the Seleka delegation, Mohamed Musa Dafan, demanded that a power-sharing division for CRR as a precondition to any peace settlement. Israeli forces killed more than 10 Gaza militants who had infiltrated southern Israel, the army said. It later announced that he had lost 4 soldiers in the battle. The army said 2 terrorist squads had entered Israel through cross-border tunnels, one of which came out just 1 kilometer from the southern Israeli town of Sderot. Following an exchange of gunfire with troops, the squad was targeted by an airstrike, the army said. Military radio reported that the second group tried to approach Niram Kibsu, close to Gaza's northeastern tip, where they engaged in a fierce gun battle with soldiers, in which they also fired anti-tank weapons. The army later said 4 of its soldiers were killed in the fighting, after initial media reports had just a few wounded. And that wraps it in CoreTv Primetime News tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.